thing that'll definitely ruin a trip or your entire vacation is a dead battery. Now, there are certain things that you have to be aware of on a modern automobile. Number one is that you should take your old-fashioned booster cables and throw them away. They can do a lot of damage to a modern car because of all the computers and electronics. Now, what is current and what is safe are these little battery packs like we see here that will actually start a car. It's amazing how well they work. But what are some of the symptoms of a bad battery? You see, if you have to use some kind of a booster to get your car started, then chances are that something is going on in the car. That is, unless you know for a fact that you left the headlights on or something like that and your car doesn't have an automatic cutout to protect against draining the battery. All right, if you know that, then get the battery tested and be done with it. But the thing that you have to remember here is that batteries, well, they wear out over time. And hot weather is really, really hard on batteries. See, we talk about batteries going bad in the winter. Well, that's true, but the damage to them usually occurs in the summer. They're damaged in the summer, they fail in the winter. So, what do you do? Anyway, if you suspect that you have a bad battery, the first thing, any kind of electrical problem whatsoever, whether it's nothing more than repeated failure of bulbs or anything like that, you want to have the electrical system tested, starting with the battery. All right, now you may run across one of these. Well, this is an old-fashioned tester from many, many years ago, and they are absolutely worthless. I mean, yes, there's some things you can do with them, but to use one of these to say that the car needs a new battery, This is what's used today. This is a modern electronic tester that looks at various aspects of the battery electrically, internally, and gives you a printout such as we see here. All right, now, suppose you get a proper battery test. You have symptoms, you have the battery tested with a proper tester, and it fails. What then? Well, certainly you have to buy a new battery, but how do you go about buying a battery these days? If you look at all the different things, you look at the ads in the paper and so on, you'll see all kinds of claims for batteries. You'll see some that are heavy duty and others that are high power and all of these different terms. And you look at the one that's super heavy duty. Ooh, that's the one I want. Well, none of these terms have an industry standard. See, these are all Madison Avenue things, they're terms, they're advertising, they're going to get you, they're going to make you fall in love based on a term. Well, ignore them because, like I say, they're meaningless. Now, there are two key factors in selecting a battery these days. Number one is cold cranking amps. CCAs. You want the highest CCA rating that you can get that will physically fit in your car. And there is absolutely no such thing as too many cold cranking amps. More the better. If you could get 1 million cold cranking amps, well, that would be wonderful because chances are every electrical component on your car would last a lot longer, probably for the life of the car. All right, but the second thing is often overlooked, and that is what is called reserve capacity, RC. See, reserve capacity determines how long the battery can handle a load before it drops below a threshold voltage. And in other words, it goes dead. Now, why is this important? Well, because all of these cars today have multiple computers, and computers have provisions to keep their memories active. And that means they draw a little teeny bit of current out of the battery continuously, even when the car isn't running. Well, that combination of 14 or 15 or 20 computers on a car drawing current out of a battery, well, it doesn't take long in some cases to run the battery down, to discharge it, to you have a dead battery. So you want the biggest reserve capacity that you can find. So you're looking for a happy medium between reserve capacity and cold cranking amps. And if you get it right, well, the battery will last a lot longer and every electrical component on the car will last longer as well. Now, what you don't do is buy warranty. Now, if the only thing you do is buy a warranty on the battery, chances are you're going to lose. Now, the reason is, in many cases, the only difference between one battery and the other is the warranty and the price. Same cold cranking amps, same reserve capacity, higher price, and a longer warranty. But here's where you lose, because batteries are pro-rated. In other words, you have to pay for every month of use you get out of it before it fails. And the pro rating, the cost per month, is based on the retail price of the battery. So if you pay more for the battery initially, well, you're going to pay more for each month that's prorated on that battery. So you really can't win unless you get a longer warranty and more battery. In other words, more cold cranking amps or more reserve capacity. The other thing is that it isn't so much the brand that you buy. Most batteries are going to be good, but the capacity and all that, that's what is going to tell the real story. Oh, and another thing is to see how long the free replacement is. A lot of these are 18 months. If it fails in the first 18 months, no pro rating, you get a battery free. So those are the things that you look for in a battery. Now, once you get the battery, you have to make sure that it's properly protected. And that means that you want to have the shop, when they install your new battery, put these felt pads. These are treated with a chemical on here that keeps that cottage cheese looking mess from growing on the battery cables, because that can be deadly on modern cars. Causes voltage surges and so on that can damage computers and electronic parts. So the pads on there, then you want to have, after it's all done, you want to have a battery terminal coating applied to the outside. This is to keep the fumes from the battery from attacking those cables and corroding them from the outside. And do all of that, and you'll probably have a car that will start regularly. It won't have battery issues, and the battery will last a long time. And when your battery reaches 4 years or older, well, it's time to start worrying about how long it'll last. Get it tested, and you may find that at the 4-year mark, you need a new battery.